Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I will say there's a lot of dumb things that Bill Belichick has done, and you can make the case that without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick was nothing, because when you look at the stats with Tom Brady versus without Tom Brady, it is light years of difference. You can look at what he's done in his love life since leaving the game of football, leaving the NFL. That's kind of crazy too. You can look at Spygate and Deflategate and say that's kind of crazy too. And you also can look at the fact that I don't think Bill Belichick is liked by a lot of people. I don't think he's a very personable guy, and you can make that case too. This shows how political, though, the voting system is, because when it comes down to it, the man has won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. He's won 8 overall. He's been to 9 as a head coach. Like, he has done more as a head coach in the game of football than pretty much every other head coach in NFL history. And he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is crazy. So it shows that all those outside issues, Spygate, Deflategate, just not being liked in general, because not being a personable guy, right? If you had Spygate and Deflategate and he was personable, that's probably a different story that could get him over the hump. But it shows how those outside issues have played into the voting process here.
Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer is one of the biggest crocs of you-know-what that's ever happened in the NFL. Yeah. If we're going to keep him out for political reasons, which it has to be, there is no argument that Bill Belichick's resume doesn't stack up. 6 Super Bowl wins, 3rd all-time in wins for coaches. This guy, he won rings as a defensive coordinator. This guy epitomizes what it means to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's where legends go. That I don't like some of these other Hall of Fames where you just have to be very good to get there. The NFL is selective. They will not let you in if you are not a legendary figure. Bill Belichick is a legendary coach. He's still in front of us, and he is somewhat making a fool of himself with what's going on in his love life and his North Carolina. But, you know, God rest his soul when we're 20 years, 30 years down the line, and he's no longer with us, and we're back looking at what he did and what those Patriots did. We are talking about them as one of the most dominant dynasties football has ever seen. We are talking about who everyone currently, while he's making a fool of himself, everyone currently reveres Bill Belichick as the greatest defensive mind the sport of football has ever seen. So for him to be held out for these reasons off the field, the NFL and this committee, they just need to do some soul searching, because O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame. There are plenty of people with scandals. Lawrence Taylor's in the Hall of Fame, and he was snorting you-know-what before every game on the field. You've got guys with domestic violence. You've got other people involved in scandals. You have all of these people in there, but they are in there. And it's Bill Belichick who gets held out because he's a little unlikable. This is not the place for politics, but just like everything in the world, of course, they find a way in.
I just don't know how you could even hold him out. I don't, because he's won 6 Super Bowls. The next closest winning head coach is Chuck Noll with 4 Super Bowls. Then you have Bill Walsh 3, Joe Gibbs 3, Andy Reid 3. And this hurts like a guy like Andy Reid too. Like, you can't put Andy Reid as a first ballot Hall of Famer in any world. Even if he wins 5 Super Bowls, he can't do it because you didn't do it with Bill Belichick. So this kind of sets precedent moving forward. But I truthfully don't know, if you ask the people who voted for the Hall of Fame and you ask them, why didn't you vote Bill Belichick in as first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't know how you can defend not doing it. Spygate, Deflategate, the big 2, I guess, that people are using here. I think it's more so just he's not well liked. I don't know. But the fact that you didn't vote him in, there's not an argument for it. Okay, so take away Spygate.
Well, let me say this. You know what's crazy about that too? Spygate and Deflategate, they weren't even Super Bowls.
Didn't they win? They won Deflategate, a Super Bowl.
They won Deflategate. That was the AFC Championship game. And then Spygate was they were playing the Jets. Was that also in the AFC Championship game?
The Spygate might have been going on a little longer. I think they won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl with Deflategate that year, I think.
They won that year, yes, but Deflategate happened in the championship game, the conference championship.
It was going on for like it was going on for, I don't know, 4 or 5 games, I think. It was going on for a few months. Spygate was 2007, so they lost to the Giants that year. That was the greatest team ever. That was the undefeated team, I think.
But if we're being real here, okay, let's just say the greatest team ever, whatever. It was all Spygate. It was nothing to do with them. We don't really talk about them that much because they didn't win the Super Bowl. That's not the crowning achievement on Bill Belichick's resume.
No. I mean, take away 2 Super Bowls. He's still
he's tied for the most Super Bowls in NFL history.
I mean, take away 2 Super Bowls, take away in the Super Bowl appearances. The biggest thing I think he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but in the minds of a voter that doesn't like him in general, that has a vendetta against him, I think you probably bring up Spygate, you bring up Deflategate, and then the biggest thing that you really bring up, which I think this is a better argument personally. If you don't want to put him as a first ballot Hall of Famer, you should. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I want to make that clear. But the better argument is how bad he was once Tom Brady left and how bad the decisions he made as an NFL head coach once Tom Brady left. I think that's the biggest thing that you can cling on to more than Spygate and Deflategate personally, in my mind.
Yeah, I'm sure they're saying that. And they're also saying, oh, well, look at him before Tom Brady. Look at him with the Browns. What happened? And you're right. You are right. Tom Brady or Bill Belichick benefited from Tom Brady. Andy Reid benefited from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
All these coaches, they're great because they got great players. They're great because they got great quarterbacks. They were great in and of themselves, but if you gave them a steaming pile of trash, they wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. So you can't handpick where you're going to play that little game.
You need great quarterbacks to win. I also think, I'll ask you this, pose this as a question. Do you think that Bill Belichick's relationship with Tom Brady hurt him here in the sense of like, he might have had Tom Brady, but he wasn't even like grateful or thankful to have Tom Brady. He tried to get rid of him multiple times. Like he didn't, like that's kind of the thing that also hurts him. You get rid of Tom Brady, he goes to Tampa Bay, wins the Super Bowl. Like that's just another dumb decision that was made. And I didn't get rid of him. I know he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in free agency, but like Tom Brady should have retired a Patriot. Like there's no excuse for that, for letting that happen.
Well, I've got a quote here from Tom Brady. This is from a Wednesday appearance on Seattle Sports' Brock and Sock show. He says, I don't understand it. I was with him every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous. He's incredible. There's no coach I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl in one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Now, it's obviously easier to say that now that you're removed from him and you were able to go win a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. There's a great respect between the two. Don't get me wrong. But Tom Brady also left New England because he didn't want to play for Bill Belichick anymore. Let's not forget that as well.
But that wasn't even a football thing. That's just Bill being a grumpy old man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bill's a great football mind, but Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did not have a great relationship when they were playing. No. But I know there's a great mutual respect amongst the two, but the relationship wasn't there. So while Tom Brady's sporting, like again, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I'm trying to think of the ways that you could keep him out. And his decisions post Tom Brady were probably some of the worst football decisions. It was like an old man with dementia, truthfully. Like you put a defensive coordinator as your offensive coordinator with a young quarterback. What are you doing?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like he's done a lot of dumb things. And he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but the back end of the career, and then combine it with him leaving his house in Martha's Vineyard or the Cape or whatever, like sure, like just combine it with all that stuff. And it's just, there are reasons where you can cling on to him not being a first ballot Hall of Famer from a voter perspective, even though I totally don't agree with that.
I honestly do also think it's a big part of just the modern climate. I think this social media era has people want to criticize now. People look for reasons to criticize. Like, the biggest GOAT debate in sports, because there's only two guys in the debate, is LeBron and Jordan. Jordan was not torn to pieces because people just didn't do that back then. Social media wasn't there. Can you imagine if Michael Jordan in this day and age was seen at a casino at 3 a.m. on the day of a playoff game, or he showed up hungover, or like just the way that we nitpick players today? We did it with Brady until he went to Tampa Bay. The way that we nitpick players is so different than at any other point in the sports timeline. So Bill Belichick is probably falling victim to that because people aren't saying, look at his 6 Super Bowls. They aren't saying who's the best defensive coach ever. They're saying, well, he did have a losing record in Cleveland. And, I don't really like the way that his girlfriend acts. So, yeah, I think we should keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, guys did a lot worse back in the day, too. I mean, there were probably a bunch of NFL players doing some bad things with no video, no cameras, no nothing. I mean, you look at like just how easy it was to get away with organized crime back in the 70s, in the 80s, right? Like guys were doing bad things. I'm not saying NFL guys in general, but like you could do things. You go to a club, you could do whatever you want. It wasn't on camera. Everything's on camera now. And there's paparazzi everywhere. So it's a lot harder. So like Bill Belichick is probably just doing what a lot of guys did and have done. But still, I look at it more from the football perspective. I can't get over how bad he was once Tom Brady left, in the sense of you put a defensive coordinator as your offensive coordinator. You had such a bad relationship with the greatest quarterback of all time, which caused him to not retire as a Patriot, go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. Those are the things I cling on to. He still deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like there's no doubt in my mind. But if you are a voter, those would be the things I would say no for. Like that's the reasoning.
If you need any proof this is all political, how about Bill Polian saying, I absolutely voted for him, and then a couple hours later saying, actually, I can't remember if I voted for him or not.
I didn't see that part. I saw the clip on Sirius XM that he did the exclusive interview where he prepared a statement where the Pro Football Hall of Fame confirmed that they had voted for him. That one, you know what this comes down to though? Like that, all that. Bill is not liked. He's not a personable guy.
Nope.
It doesn't seem like it, at least.
But it's political. How can you pause if you can't remember the vote that you just made? You should not be voting in the first place.
That should have been the easiest vote of all time, too. Like Bill Belichick, first ballot Hall of Famer. It shouldn't even be consideration. Like that would have been minus 2,000 in sports.
Is there any coach in NFL history who you can tell me 100% is a better coach than Bill Belichick? The answer is no.
No, there's not. So that's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't even know. Again, truthfully now, there can't be a first ballot coach Hall of Famer. There can't be. Like this ruins it for everybody. It also makes a guy like, and I saw this, like Tom Coughlin's up for getting the Hall of Fame. He's going to have to wait another year because you only get one coach in a year. So Bill Belichick is in next year. That means Tom Coughlin has to wait another year. So there's just there are implications to this decision. It's like a legal precedent. Andy Reid cannot be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I would think Andy Reid is probably on pace to be a first ballot Hall of Fame coach when it's all said and done. Not now though.
No, Andy Reid should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame, but he can't be. If Bill Belichick isn't, nobody is.
No. So that's the way it is. And maybe, just maybe, the committee put that together and said, we don't want first ballot Hall of Famers for coaches anymore. So we can't do this.
Well, the whole first ballot thing is stupid anyway, because I mean, these people have retired. So how is a guy not a first ballot, but then he's a second ballot? His legacy hasn't changed. His resume hasn't changed. You're just comparing him to different people now. So all you're doing is you're filling into, it's honestly just it's a weird way. Like it's similar to affirmative action where no, we have to have this many coaches and we need to have this many players. And so the whole first ballot, second ballot stuff is nonsense. Either he's a Hall of Famer or he's not.
Is Robert Kraft up for the Hall of Fame this year?
I have no idea.
I think he could be up for the Hall of Fame too. Wouldn't that be something? Is Robert Kraft eligible? Yeah. So Robert Kraft's a finalist for the Hall of Fame this year. That could be something too. You want to send a message to Bill Belichick, you put Robert Kraft in the Hall of Fame. Because that would have been, you really should have put Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick in the same year, I would think.
Yeah, and how do you not put Robert Kraft in?
Maybe Robert Kraft said, I don't want to be in with Bill Belichick this year.
Like there's Robert a lot Kraft made the call.
There's a lot. Well, you just don't know, right? If I'm Robert Kraft, maybe I say, I don't want to be in with Bill Belichick this year. I don't think me and Bill should go in together. This is my team. You don't know what was said, how this happened. Obviously, it's a political decision. Where did the politics come from? But just as far as winning 6 Super Bowls, you can't. There had to be some strings pulled here. This was a rigged job.